everyone, welcome to another episode of Critical Critique seasonal reviews. We're just gonna quickly go over some shit because it's looking like a pretty chill season this season.
It's a follow-up. It's a delayed season.
Yeah, it's pretty chill. But I guess before we do that, we'll go over kind of what we watched this season, real quick. Didn't watch a whole lot. A lot of stuff got delayed because of things we can't talk about on YouTube. But anyway, has everyone gone quiet? Oh, I was gonna say, has everyone gone quiet? Because everyone just shut up while I was waiting for someone else.
No, I'm thinking waiting for you to get done the intro, man.
Yeah, I was done. That's why I was quiet. I was waiting for someone else to take over. But anyway.
Alright, so let's go with in the favorite order with the little hearts and go through the spring season first, which is up on my screen right now.
Well, I've got my currency.
And I still have the markings left from where we last left off.
See, I don't need to do that because I just have currency.
We have a little green mark on Kaguya-sama.
Well, I didn't watch that, so it's probably better if we just go over what we watched. Because I didn't watch like a lot of the stuff that we had ticked because I got other shit to do, Ellie. But anyway,
the only thing I ever picked up was Kikuchi Goto, which was definitely a cute little thing. It didn't live up to like the author's other work, but I still enjoyed it.
That's fair. Well, I was watching. According to my thing, I watched Cute Girls Gone Fishing, or at least I watched the 3 episodes of Cute Girls Gone Fishing that came out before it got delayed. Definitely, which makes me a sad boy because I quite liked. What is it? It's a Hon. Oh god, I can't even pronounce it. But it was the one which was Cute Girls Gone Fishing. I quite enjoyed that one. It was really fun. And then I watched Sakura Wars. That was alright. Didn't mind that at all. And I watched Glimpfler and Villainies. So that was my picks for the season. And yeah.
So of all of those, which one was your favorite? You would say?
Probably Villainies. Close. Glimpfler's probably close though. Glimpfler's probably close. So yeah, it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell because I like them for different reasons. Like Glimpfler's got a lot of intrigue going on. Actually, they both kind of have
intrigue and plot.
Yeah. Yeah. I think they both kind of have a little bit of that going on, especially Villainies, because Villainies has got this whole, like, interesting idea where it's possible that this is, like, the afterlife or something, rather than it being, like, some kind of different world, because I don't want to get too into, like, the spoiler territory, but let's just say, like, there's some shit going on in the background of Villainies, right? And then Glimpfler is kind of the same, where you've got, like, these story beats popping up about, like, the main character's history and the crazy shadow girl and her involvement and what's going on and all this other shit with the alien. So it's interesting that 2 of the shows that I ended up picking up were quite intrigue focused shows. But you know, I thought both of those were alright. Sakura Wars was alright. Like it was just kind of like, yeah, this is some anime.
It's like, Sakura Wars that is way at the bottom on the favorite lists.
I don't know why, because it's not that bad. It's not terrible. I actually quite liked the 3D animation. I thought the 3D was actually pretty decent. It's very basic, right? Like it's very typical. It's very typical kind of oh look, it's a little bit slice of lifey with a little bit of actiony, and here's the twist is this, and there's some battle stuff that happens, and the bad guy's the bad guy, and he's trying to get the girl, and and it's you can kind of smell where it's going from quite far away, is what I'm getting at, right? It's very very basic, generic kind of shit. But there's nothing really wrong with that if it's okay. Like, it's fine.
Yeah, just for me, looking at the top, I only was basically or watching still one episode left, I think. Kaguya-sama, didn't do Tower of God, didn't do Glimfer, didn't do Sing Me Yesterday. I did watch Kakushigoto, which is another one of the, I forgot the offer, but you know the offer. Sayonara Setsubo Sensei. Damn, I forget the name of the Rakugo. Anyway.
Joshiraku?
Yeah, Joshiraku. That offer does his thing. It's his thing, and it's what he does thing.
Yep.
But this time
Alright,
it's his manga experience, and half of it is funny, half of it is him complaining about the stuff he did while he was and is making manga. And violence is cool.
Alright. What about you, Phil? Did you watch anything this season or anything interesting in general over the last season?
By last season, I wanted to watch and I just never got around to it. But The Ghost in the Shell. My brother watched it. It's on Netflix over here. He watched it. He said it was pretty good.
Yeah?
So yeah, and so I'd like to see if I can give it a try.
Sounds good.
I'm watching Kaguya-sama, and I like that. The best probably so far. I don't know. So far, like the only things I've really watched that came out this year are probably like Bofuri, which it's not great, but it's cute, it's fun, it's adorable, it's like kind of like watching everybody's little sister play, her first MMO and become like the ultimate fucking tank by accident. And it's cute. I gave it a 5 out of 10. And like, to some people that might sound like, oh my god, it's like, dude, 5 is average. Got a C. C, maybe C, maybe C plus. It's cute, right? And it rides off of its cuteness. It doesn't do anything really amazing, right? It's a cute little show. Like I said, it's like watching your little sister basically play her first MMO and just accidentally become one of the greatest tanks in existence. Yeah. And that's pretty. Yeah, the other thing I saw that came out this year was the OVA for Is It Wrong to Pick Up a Girls in a Dungeon season 2, and that was what you expect from an OVA. It was fan servicey, it's about it. And so far, everything that like the best thing I've seen so far this year is pretty much so far Kaguya-sama. It makes me want to read the manga.
Nice.
Which is
good.
what it's what it's supposed to do, right? I like most of these adaptations are supposed to make you want to go read the manga, so it worked. I like it, so.
Yeah. In post, Ellie, I want you to cut out the clip of Full saying the phrase, it's like watching your little sister, just like out of context. I could use that in the future.
You know what? Considering that my little sister in real life could probably kick your ass, so
probably. I've never been in a fight.
You don't mess with a pissed off Italian girl.
All right. Since I think we're pretty much gone through everything at this point.
Well,
Should
no.
we switch to?
I've watched a bunch of stuff, like a true anime connoisseur.
Oh, really?
I am.
Oh, all right. Well, keep going then, Mr. Connoisseur, man.
You're not allowed to talk, Ellie. Yeah, go ahead.
Ave-san, it's generic, it's standard, it's the I have a passion for medieval noble society, and I want others to know about it, and I'm going to write it in the form of an isekai. And oh damn, it got adapted into a light novel. Oh damn, it got adapted into an anime. I didn't really expect to get this far.
Is that the title? Because that totally would be a good light novel title.
Now it's the eighth sun. Are you kidding me? Which works better in Japanese, of course.
It's got pretty 56% ratings, so
Yeah, people just hate on it because it's an isekai in the first place.
What season did it come out?
last season.
Yeah.
We're talking about last season
Spring.
stuff.
Spring.
Yeah.
Spring. And what was it? Do you know what its title was in Japanese or whatever? Hachinante sore wa nai desho. Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, sore wa nai desho. Yeah, okay. Yeah, and that's the show that we were talking about. Like, it's about medieval society and.
Well, this guy has a passion for the medieval society and the social obligations that go with being a noble, and wants to others to know about it. That's my basic gist of the series. You learn something about vassal and king and subjects relationships. Like, if the subject of a vassal doesn't bring something for the wedding party, then it looks bad on the vassal, on the lord, because it implies the lord wouldn't give something to the vassals and keeping them poor. You know, social relationships, etc., etc. Next up, Appare Raman. It got hiatus after 3 episodes, which is really sad.
Yeah, there were a lot of shows that got hiated after 3 episodes, which is a shame.
Yeah. Ascendance of a Bookworm, it's the continuation. It's the same show as the previous one, which was good, and this still is good. It's going more fantasy now, but it's also exploring more of the world, so is it going more fantasy, or is it just exploring the world, which already was that way?
Seems legit.
Wave, listen to me. A favorite of mine this previous season. Seinen, drama, comedy, real life, and a radio station.
Alright.
Minare is cool. Then here you got your fishing anime, Naretsu.
Yep. Cute girls going fishing. It was good.
Have they gone fishing?
They've gone fishing. They went fishing 3 times, and they caught some good fish. It was good.
Did they clean them?
Yes, actually.
Really?
Okay. I should talk about this a little
Learn how to
bit.
clean a fish?
So the whole show revolves around this girl who is really into like knitting and crochet, right? And she and the family move to the countryside or whatever. Like, they go to the fishing town or whatever, right? And so she's out on the I don't know what the fuck it's actually called, but it's like the bay.
The dock of the bay.
The dock, yeah, the dock kind of thing, right? Like the concrete shit, right?
Cape?
So the cape, yeah. So she's out on the cape,
wharf. Yeah.
or the wharf,
Or
or
the
the cape, or whatever.
breakwater or something.
Yeah, probably the breakwater, right? So they go out. She goes out and she encounters the one of the chicks from the club out there fishing for octopus, and it turns out that this girl is just deathly afraid of creepy shit. Which, when you think about the ocean and the kind of creepy shit that's in the ocean, you can understand why there's a problem. So
Yeah.
what happens is she pulls out, like, the fishing chick pulls out an octopus after, like, kind of teaching the chick how to sort of fish a little bit, and the octopus lands on her lap, and she just starts freaking out, and the chick's like, oh, well, I could remove the octopus, but then you'd have to join the fishing club.
Dude, that's brutal.
And so, so then she joins the fishing club, and we meet a bunch of other characters. You get the old childhood friend from back, because this girl used to live here when they were really young, and then they've come back, right? So it's kind of like a situation of born in the countryside, moved to the city, back to the countryside, which I can relate to. And so you meet the old childhood friend, you meet the big titty glasses girl who is the best girl. Big titty glasses girl, best girl. And so the format is basically, okay, here's a specific type of fishing. We're going to teach you about the specific type of fishing for the specific type of fish. Let's catch a whole bunch of these fish and eat them. And the second episode was about, I think, little tiny gimme type things, right? And they catch a whole bunch of them and deep fry them, and it was really good. And then the other episode, I think, was it wasn't bass. It was like a bigger type fish that I can't remember the name of. But they sort of teach about like the responsibility of, you know, having to kill the fish and, you know, that kind of thing. And she kills her fish and passes out and all this other shit. But no, it's just a really cute kind of show that educates you a little bit about fishing. And because I'm, you know, a Kiwi, and Kiwis naturally like fishing as like a fucking default part of our genetic code, right? This very much appealed to me. So yeah, it's a good show. It's really good.
It's something maybe because you can try to get my dad to watch that shit.
Yeah,
he loves fishing, man.
I probably get a lot out of it.
Me, man, I couldn't catch a cold. I've been fishing with my dad, and it's just like, yeah, dude, I can't catch shit.
Yeah, the only sad thing is that, yeah, it got delayed after 3 episodes, and God knows if it's going to actually come back. I hope it comes back, because it was really good. Like, those 3 episodes were really solid, and I was actually really disappointed that it got delayed. But hey, what are you going to do? So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at on that. So, Ali, if you want to keep going.
Yeah, sure. Dino and Gal, I watched the first episode, but it wasn't for me. Next up was Sakura Wars. I didn't watch it, but you watched it, but you already talked about it.
Yeah, I already talked about it, and I think, like, yeah.
And then it goes off into other stuff that neither of us watched.
No one watched, yeah. So,
well,
overall, yeah.
B&A, which I'm ashamed to admit that I didn't watch at all. I should. B&A.
Yeah,
Triggers show.
Triggers thing. Yeah, I didn't watch that either.
The Great Pretender. I heard good stuff about it. Dropkick on My Devil. Short anime. The entire season was dropped on the same day. I watched it all. It's the same as the first season. It's funny. It's self-aware. It likes to kill the snake lady. So. Often and brutally. But now we're on to the next season, which is very short.
Which is it's very short. It's looking a little dry, but we'll get through it.
No, not short.
A bit of deja vu towards the top.
Yep.
I wonder why that is.
I wonder why as well. Okay, let's. I guess we should just jump right in. So we've got starting off. We got ReZero.
Yeah.
So I haven't watched it. Haven't gotten around to ReZero.
You haven't watched the original ReZero?
No, I have not.
Really? Why not? Out of curiosity.
I just don't not get around to it. See, the thing with me is there's a lot of shows that are like really, really popular that I even never get around to. Or
Yeah.
I just don't care enough.
I
Attack on
that.
Titan. Attack on Titan is one of those where it's like, yeah, I know it's alright, but I just don't care. With ReZero, it's like
kids, man.
With ReZero, it's less about like not caring and more about, well, I guess there's a little bit of not caring, but it's also just a matter of like, yeah, alright, I guess it's fine. I guess it's fine. Just not a lot of interest in it. But hey, it's fine, I guess, More ReZero for people that want it.
I'm going to have to, see, I watched the first season, and I was very underwhelmed. And I actually sat on it. Anytime a show hits it big and everybody's like, oh, man, you got to see this. This is some next level shit, blah, blah, blah. I always got to wait.
I find it
later.
I find it's actually very good to hold off until the hype settles.
Oh, yeah. And so
then you can go in without like expectations, right?
Yeah.
Because if everyone's kind of like screaming about something, and then all of a sudden you go in and it's like, oh no, I found this to be really mediocre, then you're going to be the odd one out. It's better to let everyone chill out of it and then jump in.
And I still have, like, I guess you could say, kind of like hot takes, because I thought it was okay. I thought the original, like the first season, was okay. It wasn't it wasn't what everybody was saying it was. It was nowhere near as good. Frankly, I'll be honest. I think Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon is actually better than ReZero, and I've seen people like basically figuratively fall on the floor with foam coming out of their mouth and spasming from that idea, like the very idea that. But no, I really kind of need to rewatch ReZero before I start rewatching or start watching the second season.
Well, they did bring out a director's cut, I think, a few seasons ago.
Oh,
in
did they?
preparation for this?
Really?
Yeah, I
no,
remember.
last season was that.
Yeah, was it last season?
Yeah.
There was. It was last season or the season before. Pretty sure, like
A
one or
director's
two.
cut.
Yes, they brought out they re-aired the show, but it was apparently a director's cut version of the show. So there was parts added to it. Again, I haven't watched any of it, but this is just what I heard, right? What I heard was that they re-aired it on Japanese television with extra stuff.
Wow,
Apparently.
that's
Very
nice.
few extras. It was basically, a few dressed up scenes and a bigger scene at the end.
Huh.
Right.
I mean,
And the
cleaned up
last
anime.
episode, I mean.
Okay, maybe cleaned up animation here and there and stuff like that. I mean, it has its moments. There were moments I gotta rewatch it because my memory is a bit fuzzy. But there were moments where the show could have been was really good, and then there were just moments where what the hell is the author thinking?
It's I find it very interesting that it got that kind of treatment because I don't actually think I can recall another outside of maybe Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, right, where something got a second go, even if it was in this case of relatively minor changes.
I think Cowboy Bebop got a re-airing on Japanese TV, but I mean I don't know if that's what you're talking about though.
Well, I'm talking about both re-airing plus new stuff added.
Ah, okay.
Right, but I mean with Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is the extreme case where it's a completely different fucking show.
No,
Right?
you got Fruits Basket too. I mean, you got a remake of Fruits Basket.
Well, now, but I mean ReZero is relatively recent. When did the original one?
Hey man, to me,
years ago?
Fruits Basket is relatively recent. I was kind of surprised.
Yeah, we all know.
I'm fucking old. It's
Are we
I'm
going to watch my my teen romantic comedy?
Absolutely.
Oh,
I haven't watched that one either.
Oh, dude.
You need to do that.
You gotta talk to Plot Progressor B about that. Plot Progressor B is one of his favorite shows, and he and I actually have shot the shit about this show quite a bit.
Well.
It is a good show.
It gives me shit to add to the list. You know.
I first watched through the first season not that long ago. It was miles better than I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, it's really. I mean, I'm not going to say it's psychological because then everybody's going to think of the really psychological shows and crazy shit. But it really gets into the nature of Japanese social dynamics and interpersonal relationships and stuff like that. And you got to really pay attention and think about try to put yourself in a Japanese person's headspace. Because from a Western perspective, sometimes the characters' behaviors make absolutely no sense. You're just why the hell did they do this? Why did they choose this to resolve this situation, as opposed to that? And you just got to think about it. Well, this is a Japanese cultural context. How do Japanese people think about certain things, right? And
Yeah.
you got to keep in mind face saving, and all kinds of other stuff. Right, for it to make sense, but it is actually a really complex, extremely complex show. I do not recommend the light novel, but then again, I almost never recommend light novels because I've tried to read them, and coming off of the shit that I've read, and going to a light novel is impossible. I just can't do it.
Nah.
So I tried to get
Fair.
through I tried to read the light novels and just I was like, fuck, I'll just wait for third season to come out. And now it's coming out.
Fair,
So.
fair enough. Yeah. All right.
Sword Art Online. We didn't watch anything of the previous season, so watching part 2 of the
I ain't
third
gonna watch
season.
this shit.
I ain't gonna go either. Like the last SAO I watched was fucking Gun Girl, and that was it. I was done.
Well, I kind of have a death pack now that I've watched through the first 2 series of it, so it's like, yeah, I'll probably do it and hate myself, but that's fine.
Lolly, tell me if it's true, but so we all know Sword Art Online isn't an isekai.
Mm-hmm.
However, I know that in later season it becomes more of a legitimate isekai. Is this true?
That would have been something in Alicization, which I haven't gotten around to yet, probably, but I've heard that too from other people.
Alright. But the people who say that SAO is an isekai are wrong because they base it on the first season.
Pretty much.
Okay,
So
that's why it matters.
That's
so
what
I guess
matters.
we'll jump across to Fire Force season 2.
Gonna watch it. Fire Force is fun.
Fire Force is good. Yeah.
With fire
I like Fire
effects
Force.
never done before, as this is good.
Never
as
done
F.
before. Yeah.
Gonna
Fire
reference-
look, Ellie. Fire has never been done in anime before. You don't understand. No, Fire Force is alright. I'm pretty hyped for the next season. I quite enjoyed the last season of Fire Force.
Yeah, I
It was
gotta
really
get I
good.
gotta give the first season a shot. I still haven't.
I think it's pretty good. I do think the pacing's a little bit iff. I felt like sometimes it would go a bit too quick, and sometimes it would be a bit too slow. I feel like they need to nail the pacing a bit more, which is kind of odd when I believe it got like what 50 something episodes last time. Like it was a number of choirs. Like it got a lot. They had a lot of time to fucking flesh it out, but I guess they kind of just wanted to skip a shitload because I've heard that it's like, yeah, no, they're fucking going at like a lightning speed to get through this. So, other than that, I think that no, it's an enjoyable time. It's fun.
I heard that this was like Trigger was involved with this, but I don't see any of that. I don't see any of that. Must have heard wrong.
It's
maybe
David
some
Productions.
Yeah,
special
David
effects,
Productions.
but that's it.
Did David do the first season? I'm just gonna go quickly look because I don't recall.
No, they did. They did.
Okay. Alright.
The only issue with Fire Force is that it's really a straight and true anime that doesn't very much leave up to discussion.
Yeah, it's very like it's not basic bitch, but it's you get what you expect. I guess.
Okay. Well, here's another way to phrase it. Right? It does what it says on the tin.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
There you go.
I agree with that.
If it does what it
That's
says
a good
on the
way
tin,
to put it.
right? That's like what I'll say about a lot of shows. Like
Yeah, I got what I paid the ticket for. right?
exactly.
You know?
Right?
You
I'm
read,
not-
the in contents, you read the instructions how to cook it, and it comes out.
Yeah, but-
as
yeah,
on the
yeah.
box.
Yeah, it's like a ramen packet, right? You know exactly what you're gonna get if you do it right. And
Give me half a day and enough alcohol, and I could probably write a small essay on how how Fire Force is some sort of deep metaphor for the militarization of emergency services or something like that.
Yeah, sounds like a good topic.
That would be funny, yeah. So yeah, it's Fire Force. Definitely gonna watch that because that's yeah.
The
that's
god
definitely gonna
of high school.
Yeah, so I don't know a lot about this. I know that it's part of this recent trend of these kind of web comics. I believe it's a web comic.
and it's a Korean
Like-
webcomic.
Yeah, it's there's a very specific name for it. It's like it's a
web.
very very.
It's online. It's from Line.
Yeah.
This is from
Yeah,
Line.
Lolly, what were you gonna say? Because I think you.
Well,
had it.
the phrase that they use is webtoons because that's
Yeah,
the name of
webtoons,
the
yeah.
website it's on, and they're from what I know, they're structured specifically so that they're easily readable on like mobile phones and stuff like that.
So I mean vertical.
I've seen. Well, no, I've seen a lot of the time these Korean webcomics, like webtoons and stuff. They'll be like these really long fucking like strips,
Yep.
right? And you read them going down, right? So that you go down the. It's like scrolling on a phone, right? So you scroll on the phone and you're like going down the strip, in a sense, is how you read them, right?
I think the only one I've ever read was the one with that one jump scare in the middle of it. You know the one.
Yeah, the classic one, yeah. I've seen a few hentai ones before that I've had a look at, but it's kind of I haven't actually like looked a whole lot into any of like the really big ones. I believe there's one airing right now. What's it called?
Tower of God.
Yeah, Tower of God. Yeah, interesting how we've got Tower of God and we've got God of High School. Some maybe the Koreans have.
I'm reading
God
the
complex.
premise of this. I'm reading the premise of this, and it sounds like what's the name of the show? There was a show in like it's gotten multiple seasons. It was really fan servicey, but it was about these these martial artist girls, and they're all reincarnations of
Fate.
the legends. Or no, they're all reincarnations of like people from the Three Kingdoms era. This is during that time of anime where there was like an anime based off of the Three Kingdoms era, like every other season, right?
Yeah,
that was a very specific time period. But what was it called? It got a few seasons recently.
I remember. I remember the visuals, but not the name. But
Oh,
yeah, are we going to watch this one?
It's funny. I actually looked this show up to find out what the title was in Korean, and it's. I'm like reading the Korean. I'm like, got a boo. Oh fuck! It says God of High School.
I've got it on the maybes because I'm not like super interested in it, especially since from what I understand, Crunchyroll has their fucking claws digged really deep into a lot of these webtoons adaptations. From what I understand, so I'm like I get that they're advertising them as Crunchyroll originals, and I'm like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, I know they're gonna do that.
I'm not I'm more interested in the fact that we're getting adaptations of Korean shit.
You know what?
I'm more interested in that.
Yeah,
like
and
thing.
I'm
than
perfectly
this
cool.
specifically.
I'm perfectly cool with the South Koreans getting adaptations of shit than China.
And I think it's
Honestly.
interesting. Like I think it's really interesting.
Well, they've been outsourcing their shit to Korea for a long time, and there is a number of Korean anime movies, like the King of Pigs, Daejie Wong, that I really want to see. I want to see like the King of Pigs, and because like Korean movies and Korean cinema is like when you actually go look at their more like dramatic art films, they're actually really fucking good. And from what I've seen, like Daejie Wong, my Korean pronunciation is absolutely shit. I don't know. I lived in Busan for 3 years, so my accent is all fucked up. But like King of the Pigs is the English translation, and that looks like on the level of like I Saw the Devil or The Chaser or Old Boy or something like that, with like just being like this really hard hitting look into like the dark soul of humanity kind of shit. It looks cool as shit.
And in the West, we obviously got the Parasite one that made it really big, but I'm pretty sure that like it's interesting
Watch
because
Old Boy if you haven't. It is actually really good.
Old Boy, you know what's funny is Old Boy's actually based on the manga. But like, who was Park Chan-wook, I think, is the director, and Chae Min-sik is the main character. I like Chae Min-sik. Anything he's in, I think, is cool.
It's interesting. It's interesting how it's interesting how we're starting to see the Korean stuff sort of like branch out a bit more. Into the more global sphere, which is good. Because I think the Koreans deserve it, because they do make really good fucking shit.
Well, they're a lot.
To them.
That's unique to them. Yeah, that's
also
interesting.
They're also a lot smarter, I think, than the Japanese when it comes to like cool Korea and trying to market cool Korea. Because the
Yeah.
Japanese, like one of the big things I was just talking about with a buddy of mine, with the invasion of like Netflix and all this other shit, and I'd been reading a article, and I know this is a little bit off topic, but like I'd been reading an article about how this this guy, they were interviewing this Japanese guy who worked in the industry, and he was saying like how the production committees, if a show bombs in the West, once it gets licensed, then it's a win for the Japanese production committees. But if a show makes bank in the West, then the production committees kind of feel like they lost out because they just got paid once for the licensing contract and that's it.
Yeah,
And it's and it's like the Koreans, they still license shit, but like from what I've noticed, they've been on like a real big, for the past 10 years at least, they've been on a real big Hallyu, Korean wave soft power projection type thing, with like making sure a lot of their shit gets on Netflix, making sure that a lot of their stuff is out there, right? And it's like, and
the reach is actually really impressive because my
Yeah.
mom, who like
Yeah.
has no experience with things like that, like actually watches a lot of K-dramas now.
oh, my mom loves
yeah,
Korean soap
K-dramas.
operas.
Yeah, K-dramas are fucking big.
Oh yeah, my
The-
mom
the
loves
only
Korean
issue,
dramas.
The only issue, of course, is that Netflix wants your exclusive streaming rights. So
See if
the-
these
which-
if they
which-
could cut the middleman out, then we'd be in a good spot. If they cut the middleman out.
well, if they
Yeah,
cut
and-
Netflix out, you mean?
That's
Well, maybe not even cut out Netflix, but like, as long as they're like making sure, like more
There
than
needs
what
to be a
what they're doing with anime.
there needs to be a restructuring of the committee system.
Well,
in general.
what-
That's been a conversation for like. it goes
But
back
yeah, but that's
years.
we're getting off into a ramble
Yeah,
rather
we
than
are.
talking about the anime coming out this season. But to kind of cap this off, yeah, no, it's interesting and it's good to see the Korean media starting to like get adapted and starting to
I
get
I would
branched
like
out.
to
And
see a lot more Korean historical drama
Yeah,
and Korean
I
fantasy.
agree.
Because they do Korean.
agree.
They're writing a lot of fantasy over there too, which is
we're gonna
interesting.
we're gonna get so off topic on this, but
Yeah. But
Yeah, it's supposed to be about
damn it,
Japanese
I want to
anime.
move on. I want to move on, but there's one thing I want to talk about, which is how back when I lived in Christchurch, I used to get arirang via
Wow, really?
I don't know how, because we didn't have satellite. We only had UHF, right? This was before digital television, right? And I would just magically, with my TV, be able to get arirang via the airways. It's magic, via like black magic, right?
Jinja?
So I would watch a lot of Korean television. Like I just have that on and watch that instead of watching normal shit, because normal shit was boring. And because one, Arirang would do like fucking video game tournaments and shit that I could watch.
Yeah.
Which was good as a kid.
my God.
Really watching the Koreans playing StarCraft and fucking the account. What is it called? There's this Counter-Strike like clone that they are really into over there that they play a lot.
Crossfire, I
Um,
believe.
Yeah, Crossfire. I think we've talked about this a little bit before, but I'm getting to the point, right? The point is that there was this one like historical drama that they used to have on Arirang that I used to quite enjoy. So yeah, so you're seeing more stuff like that getting wider appeal is good to see. So I guess moving on to
Unfortunately,
next show?
I'm not going to watch The God of High School because it doesn't look interesting to me.
yeah, I think it's a case of that this particular show doesn't look interesting, but it's like the culture around the show is more interesting to talk about than the show itself, in a sense. So anyway, moving on to Kanjo, blah 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 blah.
Kanonjo Okarishimasu.
So what's this about? Something about rental services to do, so it's Jake. Okay.
Yeah, dumped by his
so-
girlfriend, emotionally shattered college student Kazuya Kinoshita attempts to appease the void in his heart through a rental girlfriend from a mobile app. At first, Chizuru Mizuhara seems to be the perfect girl with everything he could possibly ask for. Great looks and a cute, caring personality. Upon seeing mixed opinions on her profile after their first date, And still tormented by his previous relationship, he believes that she is just playing around with the hearts of men and leaves her a negative rating. Angry at her client's disrespect towards her, Chizuru reveals her true nature as sassy and temperamental. The complete opposite of Kazuya's first impression. Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't see that coming.
It's anime-only fans?
Yeah, yeah. At that very moment, Kazuya realizes that he was not a Chad and was instead a simp, and he ends up trying to date her for the rest of the season. And she
Hey, you can't
friend-zones
say
the shit
simp,
out of
that's
him.
misogynist language.
Oh, is it really? Yeah.
I've
If
heard
you-
that before.
you know.
Well,
but anyway, it's.
I don't know about this one.
I mean,
I don't know.
It's
This
just,
this looks really like predictable, man. Just on the
I mean, look, you look at the cover, right? You look at the cover, and you can already kind of tell where this is going because
that's
you've
cool
got.
and all, but Naretsu, my man, I want you to look at the hips on the one on the left.
Yeah,
Like,
they're
I
pretty
understand your
good.
points are valid. Your points are valid. Those hips don't lie.
Well, the thing I was going to actually say was you can see where this is going to go because look, you've got the shy one on the right. You've got there's the one with the big boobs. There's the more tomboy one. There's the
But
I
those
can
are
see
those
where
are the
this is
friend
going.
characters, right? Those are the friend characters, and we all know.
Yeah, fool.
We
Oh
all
yeah,
know
fool.
where
The
he's-
friend.
Yeah,
The
we all know
friend.
this is not a hentai. If you want to get the good version of this, you're going to have to wait for 6 months before the dojins start to drop. Then you'll get the
Right,
good
so-
version of this that Loli was talking about.
well, the trailer of this show was pretty good and was basically this girl does rental girlfriends for money. It's very nice, but in really she is mean and snide. And
Right.
and they meet again outside of the dating scenario.
Nonsense.
And there goes her relationship, and the relationship develops from there.
Right. Well, I don't know. I'm not interested. I'll just go
Nah,
watch
I'm
it.
not that interested either.
I'll just go read a dojin.
Yeah. Dude, wait for the
so-
dojins to come out.
Moving on, we've got not Attack on Titan. It looks like Attack on Titan. It's like
Only from the poster, it looks like they're just garbage collecting from the poster.
well, I'm watching the trailer now because I can't be bothered reading. It looks oh look, there's a big thing.
What is this?
Oh.
Decadence? That you're looking
Yeah,
at?
yeah,
Oh,
that
okay.
one. Yeah. Decadence. Yeah.
Humans live in a 3,000-meter high mobile fortress.
But-
I love large objects. Super weapons,
big-
large super weapon objects. Come on.
So there's this girl, and she's doing things, and they're repairing the ship. She's like a mechanic or something.
You suck at commentary.
Yeah, there's a guy.
Gotta
Oh
work
look,
on
it's
your
a,
game,
oh
my
look,
dude.
it's a giant. Look, it's a giant hand, and there's the characters doing the things. Yeah, I'm not. You can tell I'm not particularly. So this doesn't look particularly.
Visually,
Alright,
it
I'm
looks
glad
interesting.
Yeah, it looks alright visually. It looks alright.
Plus, it's not working on it, and they did an alright job with.
I don't know. This
color.
looks, believe it or not, this looks
Interesting.
like anime to me. But like that's because I'm old. It's like, oh look, this looks like an actual legit what anime used to be. It's got science fiction elements. It's got like a big giant mobile
Yeah.
fortress. It's science fiction. Oh wait, that's
humanity driven to the brink of extinction.
well
yeah?
that happens a lot. But besides that, like this. All right, I'm adding this fucker to the list.
All right.
This
well,
is like,
I mean,
it's like
okay.
this is what I've been missing for most of anime is that sci-fi, out there. Like what is anime either does like this slice of life, like, oh, I'm desperate for a date, so I'm gonna like rent a girlfriend, and she turns out to be a complete like thought troll.
thought.
I don't know, something or other, like just. Yeah, that or oh look, I got hit by a bus and now I'm in a fantasy world and I shoot
This
magic.
show
Yeah.
reminds me of either what was the name again, Crimson Shell Regios or Asura Crying.
I gotta watch both of them. I gotta watch.
Yeah,
both
sounds
of them.
good. Oh, well, I'll put it on the maybes because
Alright.
seems alright.
The
So
misfit
moving
of
on
the
with-
demon of the king, Demon King Academy. History's strongest Demon King reincarnated and goes to school with his descendants. It says the
Okay.
source
This
is a
could
light
be-
novel.
That could be interesting.
It's clearly a light novel.
It's obviously a light novel adaptation. Yeah.
I'm
Well,
watching
not a
the
light
trailer.
novel
Well,
adaptation.
What about the title might indicate that it might be a light novel adaptation of some sort?
Well,
I don't know.
you
I'm
look at me,
borderline
a
because
web
it's only
novel.
5 miles long. If it was 6 or 7 miles long, I'd be like, oh, that's definitely a light novel adaptation.
Yeah, it needs a few more words to kind
A
of...
few more hundred
I-
words. Yeah.
I guess it's a web novel adaptation in the beginning.
Oh, okay. So web novel adaptations have less words than light novel adaptations.
I'm
hold on.
watching. I'm
Naruhodo.
watching.
Well,
I'm
you're working
watching
your way
this.
Naruhodo.
I'm watching this trailer, and this is some generic looking shit.
Anyways, the short version to say this, according to their Twitter page, is Hanairo.
Hanaero
Yeah.
or Iro.
Hanair.
Hanairo, whatever. I can't fucking pronounce. I'm white.
Who cares? Let's move on to big titty girl.
Just looked it up real
Oh,
quick.
I'm
It
gonna
is-
I'm
Sorry. One sec. I just looked it up, and it's originally a shosetsu.
Hey.
Work.
Anyway, we got big titty girl. Big titty
Uzaki-chan.
girls. Yep.
Uzuki-chan wa asobitai.
Two.
We have an international incident, the anime.
Yeah. Too big for the blood bag.
I'll tell you what though. I looked at the trailers for the show. I've seen all the art and everything like that. I'm like, dude, there's only 2 reasons to watch this show.
It's
It
just
really
gonna
looks
be
like there's only 2 reasons to watch this show.
Yeah, look, it's gonna be funny, big titty romantic comedy bullshit, and it's like if you're into that, it's gonna be fine, right? It's gonna be fine.
That's a show you can watch with one hand.
Yeah.
It's not. That's the problem.
Unlike anything else everything else here, this is Yuzaki-chan is on its face what it's supposed. It knows what it's supposed to be about.
Well,
It's
yeah,
not
okay,
going
yeah.
to fucking copy on that.
You do have a point. It knows exactly what it's doing. It does what it says on the tin. You're absolutely right about that. This is most likely going to be exactly what it says on the tin.
Yeah, it's
Alright.
fine.
So,
Moving on.
you're
back
going
on the
to watch
menu,
this,
boys.
Naruto?
What? Big titty? Yeah, maybe.
No guns.
Oh.
Life.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah, fuck yeah! I'm gonna watch No Guns Life 2. I watched No Guns No Life 1. It was good. It's good shit. No Guns No Life is really really good. So yeah, second season will probably be just as good. So I'm not, can't. It's not a whole lot. We already talked about this because we talked about it last season and it got delayed.
We did? I didn't rate it, so...
Yeah, no, I rated it. I rated it as already watched.
It only got a 6.96 on Mal though the first season. That means that.
Well, that's because
on Mal,
that's
dude.
because
That's
it's,
like an F, dude. That's like a 0.
Fuck, I don't give a fuck about Mal. So I thought it was fine, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, but we can skip by that because it's not like there's much to talk about involving it.
Peter
So next we've
Grill.
got Peter Grill. Okay.
Which is an interesting name for a
The
Japanese
first sentence tells how many times have I read something like this in the anime?
Yeah, you're cynical, but what's
Peter
about the show
Grill is known
itself?
throughout the land about the as the world's strongest fighter. What else is new?
Peter just wants to grill, for God's sake.
He has a girlfriend who's steadily
Oh,
trying to
man.
get closer to him. Okay.
I'm jumping around the fucking trailer and
Whoa!
fucking
This is
lingerie.
another. Okay. Yeah.
She fucking takes the bra off. We got the big titties. Yep. All right.
Yeah. No. This is another. You guys might like this, but for me, this is another should have been a hentai.
Oh no, this looks bad.
Should have been
this
a hentai.
looks- You go to 28 seconds, right, and you look at the fucking way the camera moves. That is,
How about
that's terrible.
20 seconds?
Ooh, I was like at 20 seconds, and you look at how like she's on the bed, and look at how the camera moves. It's like, yeah, nah. Oh yeah, nah.
How much you want to bet that Funimation gets the rights to Peter Grill
Yeah.
and
what
then
people were
refuses
talking
to
about.
release it? Yeah, exactly.
That's what people were talking about. Yeah, if they license this, I mean, they're probably not gonna.
Yeah, exactly.
It-
and then
it doesn't-
it'll be on Pornhub for like another 6 months before they crack down on it again.
Here's the thing about it though, is like that one shot alone with the fucking chick on the bed at like I said, like 20, like 30 seconds ish, right?
Yeah.
We're like, that's terrible.
Well,
that
it's
tells me
it's
this
a
is
still
gonna be
frame with the camera pan.
Yeah, it's a still frame. No, it's not the camera pan. It's the bit where the camera like just kind of like jiggles, is what's getting me. So they do the camera pan, and then it's like zoom in, zoom out, zoom in, zoom out. It's like no, that's bad.
Yeah, that's elementary
Don't do-
level.
I've
I
never
hate
heard
that.
of the studio before.
I don't even see a
Wolfsbane.
studio listed.
Wolfsbane
Look,
or something
look.
like that? I never heard of that.
Yeah, Willsbane. Look, I like my itchies, right? I'm into my itchies, but I can tell a good looking itchy from a bad looking itchy, and this looks like it's gonna be kind of like, I mean, I'm not sure, because hey, that camera shit could have just been for the trailer, right? To be like a trailer thing, so you don't know, but that's a very bad sign when you've got camera work like that. That's
Oh
very
yeah, no,
bad.
this is their first animation production job, and they were founded in 2017.
Oh boy.
Uh,
So yeah, I don't know. I mean, we'll have to wait and see. Maybe it'll come out and it'll.
Not gonna lie, this kind of screams because there's two listings for their company, one with the name spaced and the one with it not. And the only other thing they're listed with is doing production cooperation with Demon Lord Retry. This kind of screams money laundering. I'm not saying it is, but
So yeah, I'm gonna keep an eye on it, but I'm not expecting much. It's not gonna be fucking interspecies
So,
reviewers levels
the
of
next
good. So
one
moving on to something that might be good.
From one Monster Girl show to another.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Monster-
To me, this looks like should have been another hentai.
Well, let's watch the trailer, right? Let me get an idea of what we're looking at here, right? So we've got monster people, right? Got mermaids. All right, there's I'm watching. What do we got here? Okay, so we got main character Kun, right? He's friends with the Snick. We got Snick Nurse. Snick Nurse is good. All right.
He runs
So he's
a
a-
medical clinic. That's the.
Oh
the thing.
yeah, I think I've heard about this. Where it's he does like medical stuff with the Monster Girls. I think I recall this being like its own manga, and it apparently being okay. So it might be all right. Because I mean, I liked the first Monster Musume. I thought it was all right.
Well, this is not.
It's not the same. No, it's
No.
like a spin-off type. I don't know. Is it the same author?
No.
I'm not sure.
Pretty
No,
sure,
it's
no.
complete. It just has similar naming. It's not part of the same series. Let me have a look. Let me look into it. I'll have a look.
Right.
But no, it looks all right. I'll give it a crack.
Yeah.
See, here's the thing. Differences between a bad itchy and a good itchy, right? The bad itchy trailer leans super heavily on its fan service right away and has terrible camera angles in its trailer. A good itchy, right, such as the Monster Musume one, gives you hints at the itchy being there, but focuses on the main gist and gimmick of the show, which in this case is him being a doctor in a Monster Girl world, right?
Okay.
So that's one of the key things you
Alright.
need to look for.
Yeah. So
Kind of like how when they say, like, when you
He-
watch a trailer for a comedy movie and, like, all the jokes are in the trailer and you can kind of just tell
Yeah,
that's going to be a
Yeah.
bad comedy movie.
because it leans too much on the itchy or the comedy,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's leaning, like, the only redeeming quality of that other show is going to be the fact that you can see tits. And if I want to see tits, I'm just going to go watch something else. You need to be able to show, okay, there's a little bit more here. Maybe we might learn a thing or two about, like, monster girl biology or some shit, which is actually an interesting topic if you've ever read the actual monster girl encyclopedias, right? It's very interesting stuff. So yeah, no, I'm it seems all right. I'll put it on the watch later. I'm looking into the sources, and it seems like it's a light novel / manga. And I'm trying to find.
Yeah. So next one is Gibiate, which sounds.
The art style looks like Basilisk.
The problem,
Yeah.
my problem with it is, it's got time travel, and that can really be good, or really, really bad. And there's very few things that deal with time travel anymore that are good. There are exceptions, very noteworthy ones, but at least it seems that this is one way and it's forward. Right? So that's not bad, but it just kind of opens the door. Right?
I don't know. Let's get some. It looks interesting enough, I guess. Maybe I'll put it on the maybe section.
Yeah, aside from... It does kind of look cool, though, I will say.
Yeah. It's giving me some, It's giving me some retro vibes, actually. You know, like Fist of the North Star kind of style, almost.
Yeah,
Like, kind of. Like
the
a
sharp
little bit.
edges, you mean?
Yeah.
The thick and sharp edges.
Thick, sharp edges, more, yeah. Like, maybe. Put it on the maybe. What's next? We've got, hentai. Oh, hentai.
No, the entire
Dokyun.
title is Dokyun Hentai HEX.
Oh, this video is not available in your country. Okay,
Yeah.
I guess I'm not...
The premise of this sounds a lot like. Have any of you watched Kinzen Robo Dime Dollar? Came out a few years ago. Oh, well, that was a show about a giant robot that was powered by what was referred to as high erotic energy. And the robot's design represented this by having one really thin arm but one really large arm. It's kind of a funny show.
Oh, yeah, like the guy in...
It reminds me
kind
there
of
was
a
a
funny
manga...
show. Because
There's a
it's
manga
like,
going around right now which is very similar with a guy who's got like a really giant fapping arm.
Yeah. I would actually recommend watching the anime because it's kind of fun in a very trashy way. It riffs heavily on Go Nagai's early work. Like, the main character is like a dead ringer for Kabuto Koji.
Right.
So with this, I'm seeing the premise of this, and it's like, I might actually watch this, and, I don't think it's going to be terribly good, but the premise actually sounds kind of fun in
Feeds
that
off
little
the
campy way.
collective libidos. Yeah, no, all right. I'll maybe section that one as well.
So,
all right.
I'm just looking at the Japanese title, and you might read Dokyun Hentai like it's the heartbeat, but the Japanese is dread, not transformation.
Oh. Well, we'll
So
see
it's-
what happens.
It hides its title.
All right, let's we're getting down to the bottom section now.
So let's go quick. This is the second season. I believe we didn't watch.
No.
So
I don't know anything
unfortunately,
about
it's a red cross.
Next we have something that doesn't have a description.
Lapis relights, yeah.
So I'm gonna.
Oh, I'm
pop the
getting
trailer
an
up.
Angel Beats vibe from the picture.
Okay, we got idols.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it's very
It's
idle.
yeah, it looks idle. Yeah, we got idols doing idol things. Oh look, you got this 3D. It's 3D dancing. Oh boy. Oh,
So
boy.
We're just gonna forget that exists then.
It's-
Oh, it doesn't look too bad.
Oh, and this the next one, Quato producer Evo A. What? Evil
something,
Love.
something, love. Looks like...
Adaptation.
Oh,
This-
yep.
this looks like
your,
it's
this
about-
is your pretty boy.
Yeah, this is your pretty boy for the season.
It's also
Harold
adapted
Harris,
from
a
a
company that is.
smart. It's also adapted from a mobile game.
Oh.
Okay, I've talked about this before, but remember how I've gone on about how there's always one of these a season?
That's the idol, and there's the guy idol.
Yep, there's always one of the pretty... Like, I think there's two, because I'm pretty sure Ninja Collection looks like later on. We're almost there anyway, but, like... Again, people like to, like, about how, there's not enough diversity in anime. It's like,
I
bitch.
thought you were going from there always is an isekai. Why there's an isekai every
Well,
season?
that too. Yeah. Well, that too. Yeah, that too. It's like, there's not enough diversity. Well, when I mean diversity, I should clarify. I'm meaning like diversity and content, right? Like, it's always the same shit. It's always isekai and it's always shonens and it's also like, look. Every fucking season, there's at least one boys' love show. There's at least one, like, idol show. There's at least one, like, whatever show.
Pretty
right?
boy show and pretty girl
there's
show.
There's shit here for you. Like, if that's what you're into, it's right fucking there. Like, here's the thing, because these shows might not be, like, objectively good, right, in the terms of quality, right? But I don't think to people that are actually into that kind of shit, that matters, right? I think the people that are into that shit are gonna watch it regardless of if it's trash compared to everything else, and they're just going to enjoy it, right? So, that's the reason they keep getting made, right? Because they wouldn't be making them and adapting them if they weren't fucking selling, at least, in some regard. So, I think that criticism of, no, it's not enough, it's like, no, look, there's plenty. There's plenty for everyone. Even in a short as shit season like this, right? A season where we're getting fuck all anime, which is not actually a bad thing, because we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
It's good that there's less anime, because honestly, there's more shit here that actually looks relatively interesting, even if I'm personally not interested in a lot of it. There's more shit here that looks of better quality than
got at
most
least
shit we
two
get.
Fujoshi bait shows, because, like, one of the ones we haven't talked about yet is what is it? Kyojin Zoku no Hanayome, and something about, like, I guess the giant people, the giant tribes. Okay, yeah, the Titan's Bride is how they're translating it over here. Yeah, it's dude basically gets teleported to an isekai world while jerking off, and the king of the giants sees him and says, "I want you to have my babies." And this is like, I'm like, okay, this is definitely an overt boys' love, Fujoshi bait show, and what, that's awesome. Good for you. Good for the Fujos. They got a show.
Yeah.
And now they got two shows because, like, Koito producer Avol X Love or whatever it is. That there you go. There's another one, and the girls who just love Bishonen and want to imagine themselves as, like, getting with the Bishonen. They can watch that too, and it's like, you got a little bit of, you got a little something for everybody this season, and that's nice. That's nice.
Pretty much, and that's what I mean. Like, I don't see a problem. I think it's fine. But yeah, no, that's yeah. I guess it's. I mean, like, we've got what Ninja Collection and this other one, so I think we're pretty much at the end of anime.
TV shorts this season doesn't look very interesting, unfortunately.
No.
Usually
there's that horse. There's that horse thing that was a little bit popular a few seasons ago, getting a short, which is that's fine, I guess. I don't know anything about the second one, and I don't know anything about the other one. So
movies won't come out in like half a year, unfortunately.
Yeah, so I'm not worried.
And
about
even
any of that.
the specials, Great Pretender continues, Origasuki, OVA.
Yeah.
Ted Walker's getting a movie.
I do want to say that this season kind of proves to me, like, the reason hentai is in a terrible state. Hentai sucks now,
Agreed.
And the reason for that is, instead of making hentai, everybody's making ecchi. And if you just made the ecchis into hentais, we'd have great hentai. So I'm actually like 100% anti-ecchi right now, because every single ecchi show this season would have been a better hentai and would have been better than all the hentai being made right now.
So have you looked into how much ecchi shows there were in the time when hentai was good?
There were not
Well,
that many.
that's a good question.
Yeah, well, okay, depends on when you say hentai was good.
Yeah,
Because
well,
I'm kind of the
now-
opinion like the
you say
hentai
they're
was
bad.
at its hentai
So
was
what
probably
was-
at its best, in my opinion, like in the aughts. Between
Alright.
2000 and 2010, that's probably when hentai was at its high. Maybe a little bit into
Wasn't that
into
also?
2020s.
Didn't every show have fan service back then?
A lot
There
of
was
shows
quite-
did,
There was quite a lot of.
and there were
I think.
I'll say this. I think the reason that a lot of and you'll know that there's only like one or two studios now that do HOVA productions. It's quite frankly because HOVAs don't really make money anymore.
no, they don't, because nobody
they-
has to buy anything. They just stream shit.
The home video market collapsed basically because streaming became a thing, and streaming services do not want to touch pornography.
Yeah, because it's not family friendly. And also, you mentioned all these ecchis becoming hentai. I think that's also something you have to talk to the source material about, because as we've gone over, at least in Monster Musume, the Monster Musume one's case, right? That's an adaptation of a light novel / manga, right? So if there wasn't any sex in the light novel / manga, I don't expect there to be any sex in the actual adaptation of the show. I think that what I would like to
That's
see
the problem,
is
is
more...
the manga needed
Yeah,
to be
that's
a
what I was
hentai
gonna say.
instead of an ecchi.
That's what I was going to say. I feel like I would like to see a normalization of sex happening within the source material, because that would force a... again...
Well,
Again,
it's
because
a big
everything's connected.
conversation, but that's
There-
Yeah, it's a big...
There is some
We're getting a bit...
It is off top, but there are some shows where it's just like honestly, I was watching His and Her Circumstances, and when they did the deed, I was just like, oh man, that robs the characters of their innocence, and it kind of killed it because the show wasn't an ecchi and it wasn't a hentai. It was just a straight up relationship show. So I guess as an old fucker, I kind of just felt like some of their innocence was lost because of that, and. When I was watching Mysterious Girlfriend X at the very end of and I went and read the manga.
Fuck, that was a good one.
At the end of it though, he's like, "Yo, we got our whole lives ahead of us to be adults," because she was like, at the very end, she's like, "Yeah, I'm kind of willing to sleep with you now," and he's like, he's just like, "No, we're still kids.
Yeah.
Let's just be kids. Let's just enjoy being kids and wait until we're grown up." And I'm like, oh, that's cool. I like that, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, when I was 16,
So-
I would have been
so
like,
I guess-
no!
Before we going to spoil the end of even more series, let's end this.
Oh, come on. If you haven't seen Mysterious Girlfriend X by this point, it's like,
Seen?
You know-
mean read.
Okay, let me cap it off with maybe I should just I just want to clarify what I mean by I would like to see more of it, but that doesn't necessarily mean that stuff like what you're describing, Phil, shouldn't also be it. I'm not saying that we should just get rid of the wholesome /
Well,
okay,
yeah,
it doesn't have to
yeah.
have sex in it all the time, right?
We've had such a seismic shift, though, in just how, I hate to say it, but, if you go back to the 1990s, Japan was a lot less...
Alright,
A lot
so
more...
let's not go into history once again. Goodbye, everybody. This was the
All right,
end.
fine, bye.
All right,
Bye-bye.
bye.